Hi, my name is Reggie Aiken, and I'd like to speak with you about some important information. Information pertaining to one of the deaths of Whitney Houston. And what I'd like to bring to your attention is that Whitney Houston actually was murdered. Uh, what you're hearing is that she took her own life. Sure, she did, right? Yeah. How many people take their life during a celebration, the night or the eve of a celebration? You ever stop and think that? But I'm going to tell you who did it. His name is Matthew, and Matthew is a high priest of Hollywood, California. And Whitney Houston knew Matthew, just like many other people in Hollywood and the musical world and the entertainment world. No, he is the high priest who is a homosexual and a transvestite in Hollywood who controls the jobs, the promotions, the advances there and throughout the country. He's very wealthy and he's been doing this for years. And he has his own posse or his own group of people who execute whatever he says and they teach whatever he wants to do. And he has a key teacher whose name is John. John does everything that Matthew tells him to do. John orchestrates the murders. John orchestrates the tainting of the foods, the poisoning that puts the people to sleep. And that's what I'd like to speak with you now again about, is that's the key method that they use. Tainting of food and liquids, whether it's coffee, tea, juice, anything that you would consume, foods, when they taint it or put poison in it, poisonous chemicals in it, whatever they use, can put you to sleep. And once you're asleep, they can do anything they want. They can set the stage for a murder to make it look like a murder, to make it look like a suicide. And actually, they're the ones doing the murder, right? Now, my point is, you want to know, well, how do you know this? That's what you're going to thinking. Well, let me ask you this. How many stories have you heard of Whitney Houston, first of all, negative about all that she was negative? Many. All you heard was negative about Whitney Houston. That's why she did it. What about all the positive Whitney Houston did? Never hear that. See, that's part of your first sign that Matthew's signature's on this and John's signature's on this. And also there's a mark that works with them too. And these are key figures that they use to do Matthew's will in the land and murder people. Next, take someone like Ronnie Chasen. Okay, here's Ronnie Chasen, a well-loved publicist, right, in Hollywood. She was murdered for whatever reason. My point is, people who knew her knew everyone loved her. But Matthew's hands in this, right? He engineers the whole thing up, knocks Ronnie out. This is just a short version. Knocks Ronnie out. Then they can do whatever they want with Ronnie's body. And which, again, this was murder. Ronnie's murdered and placed in a situation where it looks like she was robbed and ran into a pole, right? Absolutely wrong. This is all Matthew's work. And he's been doing this over and over. That's why you ever notice in investigation, nothing makes sense. People are going, well, how could this be? How could that be? What are these facts? There's so many facts that are like collisions that it can't be. And then you ever notice there's always changing of facts. Well, then how can this be? Well, because you got to remember, Matthew hires and pays very well. And a police officer will jump at the money. Your neighbor will jump at the money. Your mother or dad will jump at the money. The kids will jump at the money. Ministers will jump at the money. Everyone jumps at Matthew's offers because he's a snake. He's like Satan. He knows what you like. He knows how to speak with you. And guess what happens? Once you're in, you're in. And when you go to get out, then that's when the food tainting comes in and the drink tainting comes in, because it's fatal. When you stop talking with him, it becomes a deadly ending for you and for all who ever dealt with him. And he's been doing this for years, over and over, this same method. Slip it in your drink, the poison in your drink, in your food, and he can use anybody to slip right up on you. And that's like, again, 99% of the people never catch that because he could use a kid that that's been trained for years. They go slip you a Mickey in your drink and you never wake up, and put you to sleep, and his boys come in the door, nail you, hammer you, and they leave, put the gun there and make it look like you killed yourself. Or say this guy robbed you and it was a robbery murder, right? Excellent. He's an excellent engineer, but he's still a serial premeditated murderer in this land, Hollywood, California. That's where he is. And you may be thinking, who does he use? He uses actors, actresses, professional athletes like NBA players, NFL players, hockey players. He uses everybody in every venue in the world. His hands in there with a few number of them, using them to do his will and his purpose, and that is with poisoning other people. He's in the Jewish synagogue, working the same system, using poisonous communion, poisonous type of any type of venue with his food. He's there. In the Catholic Church, he could use the communion, the actual Jesus Christ wine that they use for communion, and the bread, and taint that. He uses that also for a method of harming people. Also, in just say the black churches, he uses ministers in churches. The black ministers, white ministers in the gospel churches of Jesus Christ. The same thing. He uses them in the tainting of foods and communion foods. He's there too. And he has John, again, his key partner, who trains everyone how to do it, how to use these deadly methods that cause fatalities throughout our country. And right now, as we speak, Matthew and John are planning their next murder by using food tainting and drink tainting. Right now, they're engineering another murder. As we speak, they're doing it. And this is what they do.